Why, hello there, and welcome to Skincrawlers podcast, episode 4.
5.
Today will be a what I have watched throughout the month of March 2023. I'll give you the lowdown on the various films I have watched and acquired, my take on them, and a brief synopsis, and some mini reviews. Okay, welcome to the episode 4 of the Skincrawlers
5,
podcast. I don't do this very often, I do it on my own. Thought I'd just do what I've watched, audio bite. So I've watched quite a lot throughout March. I think I've managed to watch about 30 movies. Not the most I've watched throughout a month, but it's a fair amount. It's been a good, interesting month. There's been some great releases on Blu-ray, including the Martin limited edition and standard editions of the 4K of Martin from Second Sight. That was a fantastic release. I was really felt really privileged to acquire that. There's been some other good titles released. Haven't picked up many of the new releases myself because I've been sort of backtracking and picking up some bits I've needed to, like some older VS titles and couple of Arrow bits and whatnot, bits and bobs. Recently just got Dr. Giggles, which I think I'm going to watch tonight, so that won't be a part of this, what I've watched throughout March. Maybe I should have done this at the end of March, although we're closing on it, but it's what I've watched throughout March so far till today. And the date is the 30th, so yeah, I could have waited one day. How silly of me. I think I'll watch Dr. Giggles tonight. I've just got the Scream Factory. It looks like a fantastic release. New scan of the movie, new special features, all of that jazz. Apparently it's not got the uncut cut of the film though, which is a shame. It's just got the rated R cut. Now, there was a German release that actually had the uncut version on. No, it wasn't, sorry. I think it was a German release that had the rated R cut, and then there was a Spanish bootleg that was on the market that actually had the uncut version of the movie. I don't know, I've never seen the film before, Dr. Giggles, so I'm not sure how much of a difference it makes, but it's always good to get the uncut versions, I think. Always a good. Anyway, let's kick off what I've watched throughout March. So yeah, quite a few movies, some new ones, some old ones. I'm just going to go through them. Some of them I'll go into more detail than others. Some of them I'll just quickly pass over. 1st of March, I watched Dracula 2000. I believe this is produced by Wes Craven. Again, never seen it before. It was a new one for me. Starring Gerald Butler as Dracula, Christopher Plummer as Van Helsing, among others. Omar Epps is in there as the character Marcus. I believe it's produced by Wes Craven, actually. Yeah, executive producer Wes Craven, so it does have his name on it. Thought it was okay. It's directed by Patrick Lussier. Or Patrick Lussier, however you pronounce his name. Did the My Bloody Valentine remake and Trick in recent years. There's also sequels to these Dracula 2000s movie. There's a Dracula 2 with the subtitle Ascension, which I haven't got around to watching. Yeah, so he's a pretty competent director. I thought the movie was okay, kind of like the beginning of it, where they steal the casket with Dracula in and things like that from the artifacts dealer. Thought that was pretty cool. Not got much to say about that one, Dracula 2000. Also on the 1st of March, this was a little later, I do remember doing this actually, I just got the Children Shouldn't Play With Dead Things 4K, so I watched that. I have seen the movie before. I had a more standard Blu-ray of it. I thought the 4K looked fantastic. Yeah, they really cleaned up the image for that one. Great movie, Children Shouldn't Play With Dead Things. Brief synopsis is a group of people go onto an island and they're basically filming a movie as such, or they're going to be filming a movie, and they've got all these amateur actors. This character Alan basically is a bit eccentric, and he's starts playing around with a corpse and names the corpse Orwell. and everybody's getting freaked out, and then eventually, because of an ancient ritual they do, or speak, I think they speak it, yes, because they recite an ancient ritual, and all the zombies, all the dead on the small island come alive and basically try and kill them all. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty fun. Looked great in 4K. Yeah, I thought it was great. Also watched Poltergeist 2. Sorry, not Poltergeist 2. I watched that in February. I also watched Poltergeist 3. I wasn't very impressed by it. I got sick of the two main characters who the film focused on. Instead of focusing on Carol Ann so much, they started focusing on Nancy Allen's character, Patricia Wilson Gardner, and Tom Skerritt's character, Bruce Gardner. The couple in the film, it slowly becomes about them, and they're going through these nightmarish sequences trying to basically rescue them, Carol Ann, and save themselves. Aspects of the film were okay. Some of the special effects were kind of good to look at, but overall it's a bit of a slog, and I didn't really enjoy that one. I think I gave it like 2 stars out of 5. Watched the Outwaters. That was fantastic found footage film. I'd heard some people were really scared by it and quite I don't want to say traumatized, but a little frightened by this one. It was horrific and genuinely frightening. I'd say it was a blood-soaked nightmare of a film. You don't know too much about that one. Basically, you could say, spoiler alert to some degree, I'm not really spoiling it, but you could say it's kind of like a depiction of the limbo between life and death, like purgatory as such, that kind of thing. But that's the Outwaters. That's from was on a film festival last year, and it's been released from 2022. I watched that a few weeks ago. Watched Sick, COVID-19 movie. Yeah, I'm not sure whether you can say COVID or not. I don't really care, because I'm not looking to get monetized or anything, so that's fine. Yeah, I watched Sick, home invasion movie set during COVID. There's 2 friends go to one of the friend's dad's houses that he has, one of his properties he has for vacations, and they become stalked, and it unravels why these people are trying to kill them. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thought it was a middle of the road kind of movie. Watched The Black Phone again. Watched a couple of movies from one from 2022 and the other from 2021. I actually watched them in the wrong order. I believe it goes, the first one is The Curse of Humpty Dumpty, and the second one is The Cult of Humpty Dumpty. Well, with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey being released, I thought I'd watch these 2 silly Humpty Dumpty adaptations, horror adaptations, and to be fair, I didn't rate them too highly, and you could see that amateur sort of low budget within them, but they were a lot of fun. I watched the sequel first by accident, The Cult of Humpty Dumpty. It's about these girls who go on a sort of hippie retreat, and basically all sorts happen. It's not that interesting as such. I mean, it's okay, but they start getting picked off one by one. Then I watched The Curse of Humpty Dumpty, which was a better film. This is the first one in the series where there's 2 daughters, and the mother has dementia, and they take her back to the old house where they grew up and used to live, trying to sort of like make her final years like comfortable while she has dementia. And she comes across the Humpty Dumpty doll, which has sinister consequences. So that was cool. I also watched Killing Birds. Yeah, I love that. I've never seen it before. aka Zombie 5. Got the 88 films release of that. I thought that was great. Loved the nightmarish sequences. Thought the location was really cool. I think it's set in like Louisiana, in the swamp, in this house. The beginning of the film's great, where the guy catches his wife sleeping with somebody else and he brutally murders them. That was cool. The Long Dark Trail I watched from 2021. I found that quite monotonous and boring myself. I really didn't enjoy that. It's about 2 brothers trying to escape their life, and they're on the road. Yeah, they escape from a nightmare just to enter into hell. Strange stuff starts happening. It's got a cult dabbings in the film and whatnot. I didn't really enjoy that. Something in the Dirt from the same directors as The Endless. Can't think of their names off the top of my head. I could have a look, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It goes into the whole same sort of themes as The Endless, about like time and space and whatnot. It's one of them ones, I suppose I'd just say, if you're gonna, if you're interested in something in the dirt, just go ahead and watch it. Picked up the Castle of the Living Dead 7 release with Christopher Lee. Watched that. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Got these single releases. It's from the Eurocrypt box set. I'd never heard of it before. I enjoyed it. Loved the gothic atmosphere, old school creepy tone. It had some funny, quirky characters. Donald Sutherland, to name a few. He had a small role and was very goofy. He rounded the film off nicely. Yeah, if you're looking for a classic Christopher Lee movie with atmosphere and slightly over-the-top acting, this fits the criteria. The plot is kind of a House of Wax, has a kind of House of Wax thing going on. So if you've seen House of Wax, the original Vincent Price one, kind of get the gist, it's that kind of thing. Dream No Evil I watched, I can barely remember that. Another Christopher Lee one from the Eurocrypt box set I watched, Crypt of the Vampire. Yeah, I didn't mind it. It was a bit of a strange one, black and white. Yeah, it was kind of cool. Then I watched Cocaine Bear. I might actually talk a little bit about Cocaine Bear. So rated it 3.5 out of 5. It's kind of a humorous movie. Yeah, here's a synopsis. An oddball group of cops, criminals, tourists and teens converge in a Georgia forest where a 500-pound black bear goes on a murderous rampage after unintentionally ingesting cocaine. So these criminals are trying to smuggle cocaine, falls out of the plane when a guy parachutes. He loses the drugs. The bear gets a hold of them and starts going on a rampage because she's digested a lot of cocaine. Yeah, it's pretty cool. The bear looked great. CGI for the bear is fun. He looked kind of cool. There's cubs in it as well. She's trying to protect her cubs. That was a nice touch. Film's got some humorous elements, some gory elements, some good kills, quite graphic at times. Not the most graphic thing ever, but yeah, it was fun. Freeze, watched that one from 2022. That's pretty boring. The Park watched one called The Park from 2023, so quite a new one. It's a dystopian coming-of-age movie. Centres around 3 kids who find themselves in an abandoned amusement park, aiming to unite whoever remains. Yeah, that was kind of cool. Basically a dystopian world with all the adults have died because of a virus, and when the children get to a certain age of or hit puberty, they also end up just basically contracting a virus internally and dying. So it's a strange one, but it was all right, to be fair, for what it was. Watched Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, gave that 2.5 out of 5. I didn't think the film was nowhere near as bad as I'd heard. I mean, the film wasn't great, that's for sure, but it wasn't the worst thing I'd seen. It only features Pooh and Piglet. The rest of the critters aren't in it, but yeah, it had kind of an okay setup. Has a really cool animation intro, which is very interesting at the beginning. Very quite what's the word for it? It's quite artistic. It's nice to watch with the images and the drawings of Winnie the Pooh. It wasn't all that bad. Some slightly interesting kills. One involving a meat grinder, that was pretty cool. It didn't show you everything, of course, but it was okay. The scenes with the group of girls in the house I thought were quite painful, though they weren't the best aspect of the film. Their acting was fine as far as the main ones are concerned. They did an amicable job, but it just weren't that great a movie overall as far as that portion of it's concerned. Winnie the Pooh was a cool killer, though. I did enjoy that aspect of it. Unwelcome. This was a bit of a surprise, but a couple who are victims of a home invasion in London, and the husband inherits a house from his aunt, and they go and live in the countryside, and they discover she was appeasing and feeding these strange little people who live in the forest. An old legend comes to the forefront, and it goes from there basically. It's also got home invasion aspects. It was really cool. Picked up The Fear from Vinegar Syndrome, watched that, really enjoyed it. It's basically a movie set in the woods about conquering your fears, and these people have gone on a retreat that a guy's hosted. Richard, the character's called, and he goes back to his old retreat where he used to go as a kid camping, and he's trying to help his friends conquer their fears, and his uncle turns up with his girlfriend, and they have a mannequin, and basically the mannequin comes to life and wreaks a bit of havoc. There is more to it than that, but I don't want to give too much away. Watch Martin. Got that lovely release from Second Sight, absolutely fantastic. I've not even watched all the special features yet, but I loved watching the film in 4K. Yeah, it's kind of a isn't he vampire movie. He drugs his victims and cuts them and drinks their blood, but he doesn't really have fangs, so you don't know whether he literally is a vampire, or I know he believes he's a vampire. He looks like he's about 30 or so, and he believes he's like 89, I think it was. I could be quite off on the age, but it's something like that. And yeah, it's a isn't he drama, basically, character study. It's very character orientated, great film, directed by George A. Romero. Watched the new Children of the Corn, thought it was okay, probably an unpopular opinion, but I thought it was a good spin on it. It's better than the original sequels, I thought. It's grisly, the acting's believable, especially from the main cast. Seeing the Jolly Green Corn Giant was fantastic, so I loved seeing that CGI big corn monster thing. As cheesy and silly as it is, I thought that was cool. That's Children of the Corn. You know, a lot of people give it, you know, a lot of bad negative reviews, but I'll give it a little bit of praise. It was watchable and it's middle of the road. It's not even probably as good as Urban Harvest Children of the Corn 3, but it's up there as one of the better sequels from what I've seen, and I've not seen them all. Onto a film that I was absolutely so excited to discover had even been made. Now, last year I watched Horror in the High Desert, which is a found footage mockumentary about a guy who goes missing after going 3 days or so into the Nevada desert and filming. He discovers a strange cabin and it all goes from there. It's got weird music playing out of the speakers on it. It's in the middle of nowhere where nobody is taking up residence. It's 3 days into the desert. He just comes across, it's got smoke coming out the chimney. He's terrified, and it all goes from there, and he goes missing. So they made a sequel to that called Horror in the High Desert 2. Minerva. I think that's it. Minerva. Yeah. So it's a follow-on from the first film. It was fantastic again. I only discovered it come out last week. I was browsing through new releases and I'd seen it and I was like, I need to get that. So I downloaded it and watched it. Utterly fantastic. Not going to say too much about it. It's a fan footage mockumentary. So if you're listening now and you're looking for a good mockumentary, give Horror in the High Desert and Horror in the High Desert 2 Minerva a chance. And they're doing the third one in the fall, apparently in autumn. So really looking forward to that, Horror in the High Desert. And then I was on a bit of a found footage kick, so I watched Butterfly Kisses as well the next night, which was great. It's basically about a legend of Peeping Tom. If you're staring down a tunnel for an hour straight and don't blink, the Peeping Tom appears, and then after that, every time you blink, he gets a little closer. So that was enjoyable. That was also a found footage mockumentary, Butterfly Kisses, from 2018. Watched Human Centipede for the first time. Nowhere near as bad as it was stated to be. I didn't think it was that gross. The implied shitting in each other's mouths is pretty disgusting, but other than that, I just thought it was a run-of-the-mill kind of fun horror with a crazy scientist who was cool to watch. Yeah, I didn't mind it at all. I think I gave it like a 3 out of 5, so that's a Human Centipede first sequence. Apparently the sequel's a little more graphic. I shall get onto that at some point. Watched Killing Kind. That was okay. 70s sort of killer movie. You know, it was alright. It was fairly good. Then I watched Last Gasp, which has Robert Patrick from Terminator 2 in it. And a few boobies, actually. Yeah, it was a pretty okay film. Didn't love it. I preferred Last Gasp. I think, not Last, that's what I'm talking about. Sorry. Excuse me. I preferred The Fear. I think Last Gasp and The Fear got released from Vinegar Syndrome couple of years ago at the same time. I actually preferred The Fear. They're both 1995 movies, so I think I am right on saying they got released at the same time. But Last Gasp, it was okay. Yeah, Robert Patrick was kind of cool in the movie. He was good to watch. He plays a good villain, actually. Yeah, and that's what I've watched throughout March until the 29th. I think tonight I'm going to watch Dr. Giggles. I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4K coming from Second Sight Films. I've ordered that. Going to be getting that at some point in the next few weeks. Can't wait to unbox it. And that's what I watched during March 2023. Minus a couple of days, of course. Okay, bye bye now.